Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Avory Grace. If this is your first time, hello, hi. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. And if you are a regular on this platform, then it's good to see you again. I'm still trying to get a hold on the new intro or what I'm going to say in the intro. I don't even know. So I come at you today looking crazy up in my head. I did this hairstyle. I did like mini twists, and over the week I kind of got over them, and I also need to wash my hair, and I kind of undid them, and then they kind of look like I've got my hair dreaded up or something is happening in my head office. But anyways, in today's video I'm going to be doing a let's detangle with me while I take you through why I've been away from YouTube, what's been happening in my life, and yeah, kind of like a get to know me, but while I detangle my hair. What I'll be using is the detangling cream from Nilotica. This is the cream over here. I don't know if I'm sure it's appearing inverted, which is weird. I'll try and put a video of it here of what this is. So it's a Nilotica. It's part of Nilotica's Shea and Cocoa collection. I think this was the first collection that they had. I have used Nilotica before. I don't know whether it's on my YouTube or my Instagram. It should be on my Instagram. A lot of the content I've been shooting has been on Instagram lately, because those are very short videos that I can quickly shoot and edit on my phone and then just post like that. I don't really have to do it on my laptop. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. So I'll be using that and just some water. I did mix in a bit of the detangling cream in here. So we'll just see how we proceed and what we do. Thoughts on Nilotica. I do have a video that I'm hoping, this is future Avory speaking to, this is future Avory. I hope I did edit the video and post it on my Instagram, but I did review 3 products from Nilotica. They didn't send me these things. I bought them with my own money. I bought them at Cosmetic Connections. I'm not sure if you are aware of Cosmetic Connections. So it's another online shop where you can buy literally everything from fiber to hair accessories to combs, products. Everything you need is on there. So yeah, if you are looking at catching up on hair content that I've posted before, a lot of the content that's on my YouTube channel is very old. We'll talk. Let me just get into the whole thing. I'm just blabbing. But yeah, so let's detangle and chat. And yeah. Okay, so first step, I'm just going to show you the disaster that's happening. So please excuse me. I will look at the camera at times, but I'll also have a mirror right there. That's just gonna help me, detangle properly so I don't look cross-eyed on screen, right? But this is what my hair looks like right now. My hair has grown quite a bit, and I couldn't be happier. But now the longer my hair grows, the more it requires love. But I have managed to simplify my routine so much that doing my hair is not such a scary thing anymore. But like, yeah, this is what my hair looks like. Like you see, I have a love and hate relationship with twists, because twists tend to, if you keep them on for too long, your hair will lock on itself. If you've got natural hair like I do, your hair will lock on itself, and unless you're trying to start up a dreadlock, then you don't want to keep it on for a very long time. So yeah, this is what my hair looks like right now. I am just going to section it out, and then I'll start detangling from the back. And then I've prepared some questions, because at the end of the day, these are things that I want to talk about, because it's how I feel at the moment, and I really don't want this type of conversation to be stirred by like other people's questions. But like, if there are any other questions after I've done this and you want to know more, then please do leave it in the comment section below, and I will be sure to answer those questions for you. But yeah, so I have questions that I've written down, that I want to, so that I don't forget. Or basically it's like essentially like talking points. Yeah, that's what they are, talking points. So this is this side. There we go. All right. So first step is, so when I first tried this Nilotica, this is literally not a review video, but I kind of feel like I have to speak about this. So when I first tried this Nilotica detangling cream, I absolutely loved it. This is what I loved from the range. I use quite a lot. So I first did it on dry hair with all the lockings and everything. So I'm just gonna try and move a bit closer so you guys can see. This thing is super moisturizing. Like for a detangling cream, super moisturizing. Like that concept. This could have been the conditioner, because the conditioner doesn't perform as well as the cream on its own. Like the cream, like this is so moisturizing. Like you can literally detangle your hair and still keep it moving, and you don't need to rinse it out. I wonder if it says here apply from root to tip from, okay, it doesn't say actually to rinse it out. Gently finger detangle the section of hair until it's not free. Repeat to all parted sections of the hair. So I guess you don't need to like rinse it out, but if it's gonna be like a step that you're gonna include in your wash day, then yeah. All right, so let's get to the questions. Where have I been? So I've been here, I've been around. I've been in these YouTube streets. Not YouTube streets, well, yes, YouTube streets. By YouTube streets I mean I've been watching YouTube, but I just haven't been a contributing member. 2022, let's talk about 2022. 2022 was such a weird year for me. I don't know where I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it in the last video that I posted, which is a mini vlog of my January. So it's 2022 was kind of like a very weird year for me. A lot of firsts happened, and at the same time I kind of like felt like everything was taken away from me, and that kind of sucked. And that also put me in a very terrible place, emotionally, mentally as well. I don't really speak a lot on the channel about like my mental health and, you know, all of those things. I don't know why. I think it's also because I struggle with vulnerability a lot. I struggle with it, and I have this thought in my head that if I open up too much, people are going to know a lot of things about me. And I'm like that, like even in relationships, be it friendships or even like romantic relationships. So 2022 has been quite a weird year for me. Was a weird year for me, in a sense that, I don't know, man. I felt like I was healing, but at the same time I was healing backwards. You know, when you walk backwards, you feel like you can do this and you've got this, and then you trip and then you fall, and then you're like, yeah, you should have been walking facing forward. That's what I feel 2022 was. I think one of the videos that I posted was me looking for an apartment, found the apartment, moved into the apartment, loved the area, loved the apartments that I moved into. But that kind of came to like it was a very short stay. Let me put it that way. At that place, there was nothing wrong with the apartment. All I'm going to say is just people need to be mindful of the people that you bring into your spaces, especially if you are going to be sharing your place of residence. And it's not even that one particular situation, it's just that in general. I have lived and shared with so many people before, because I was a student and then I was working part-time. I was working in customer service, so I didn't really earn a lot, and I didn't earn a lot. So I kind of like always like lived with people, like having like flatmates, roommates, housemates, and all of that jazz. And I just kind of, to a point, I was kind of like, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I am the problem, you know, because people's habits are weird. Okay, people are people have weird habits. That's all I'm gonna say. I really don't want to speak a lot about it because honestly, I don't want to give it time. It's really not worth my time. It's just that I've learned a lot, and I'm never gonna do that again, ever. But that phase of my life needed to happen, and the reason I'm saying that I feel like 2022 was a period where I felt like I was walking backwards. I kind of knew where I was going, but at the same time it was like new territory as well. But what happened in 2022 kind of like helped propel me for what I have been blessed with now. Sharing an apartment in 2022 made me save quite a lot of money, and then in that process of saving I was able to buy quite a lot of things for myself, like a bed, a proper bed, like a headboard, washing machines, TVs, all those things to prep me for finally moving and living on my own. So in 2022 ended with me living on my own, like me, myself, and I. So that happened. And then I think one of the other things that kind of made me move from where I stayed was I experienced quite a lot of triggers in that specific space that I was in, and I felt like I was regressing in the healing that I had already like made strides in. And I hate being triggered. Like being triggered messes with my psyche so much. So I even started therapy. Yeah, so I started going to therapy. Therapy is something that I've always been wanting to do, but I just never thought that my medical aid covered that. But turns out it did. So I sought a therapist. Well, a friend of mine suggested a therapist, and I worked with the therapist for the better part of 2022. That was an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience. Let me not lie. It was an amazing experience. I learned a lot. I got validated quite a lot, because I feel like in my life it's rare for me to feel validated in the feelings that I feel. A lot of the time I will feel some feelings and then I will kind of dismiss myself, or situations around me will kind of like dismiss the feelings that I have, or I will identify those feelings that I have as being toxic and kind of like go into like a whole self-loathing, regret. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why did I choose myself? I shouldn't have chosen myself so early on in a relationship. Maybe something could have worked out and it just didn't, and because I chose myself way too early. But therapy kind of like very reassured me in a sense that I'm very self-aware, and I've made strides in my healing where I'm able to pinpoint my feelings and what makes me feel the way that I feel. And I know what I want. And when I don't have, or when I'm not getting what I want from a situation, it kind of puts me in a very sad space. And I that's where I was in 2022. I was in a very sad space. So I enjoyed my therapist, my therapy sessions. It helped me navigate quite a lot of the feelings that I felt I shouldn't have been feeling. Not I shouldn't have been feeling. What am I saying? It validated the feelings I felt. Because when I felt those feelings, I thought they were being I was being unjust, or I was being unfair. To feel that way. Maybe I could have done something different, and then it kind of like brought up the people pleaser in me. But I wanted to do away with being a people pleaser so much, because it kind of takes away from healing. So those kind of feelings like kind of always like brought me back to, the old people pleaser in me. And I was lucky enough to have found my therapist by then, and he helped me work through all those feelings. And yeah, man, therapy, I haven't scheduled any sessions for 2023, so I'm kind of looking for a different therapist this time. I read somewhere that once you are self-aware, now the real healing needs to begin, because I feel like I need to really dig deep in terms of just having someone that's neutral, that's not your friend, that's not your sibling, that's not family, that you can speak to frankly and say anything and everything that's in your heart. Because a lot of the time, a lot of the things that we feel, even if it's like you feel a certain shift in energies with friends, or you feel a shift in energy in family, every time certain situations are addressed, it kind of like puts a burden on the relationship itself. So having someone where you can kind of offload to and help you sort your feelings is one of the biggest benefits that I felt helped in during my therapy sessions. So that going through that phase with my therapist really like helped me feel validated, like my feelings matter, and what the things that I do for myself were not destructive. I'm not a destructive person, I'm not a toxic person, but a lot of the decisions that I did take sometimes felt like I was being toxic, and I just didn't understand, so my therapist really helped me. How many times have I said therapist in this? I've said therapist so many times, but yeah, I started therapy in 2022, and that was amazing. Hoping to find another therapist that we can dig deep with. Yeah, that's it about where have I been, what's been happening in my emotional. Oh, yeah. That's what has been happening in 2022 and why I've just been sorting out my feelings, trying to understand my feelings, trying to really not really solidify myself in my singleness, but also just trying to be okay with being alone, and not feeling sorry for myself, so that kind of helped. So yeah, I moved again, so I'm in a new space now. Might have to move again, because now there's another human being that stays with me. So yeah, so that takes us into the next part of this, which is something that I did briefly touch on in the previous video that I will be uploading, or actually has been uploaded. I'm uploading it today. Today is Sunday, the 5th of February. I'm currently exporting the video, but yeah, I will be posting a video, and in that video I touch on my daughter moving to Cape Town with me. So let's talk about that. So in the spirit of being vulnerable and letting you guys in, so I fell pregnant when I was 18, gave birth at when I was in the year that I was going to turn 19. That was in 2012. And then I fell pregnant at 18. Didn't know what the hell was going on. Fell pregnant, went through pregnancy. I think my brain has shut down that part of my life. I remember being pregnant, I remember giving birth, but I just don't remember how I felt. I must have been very sad, because one thing my brain did, it shut that whole thing down. I laugh, but it's serious. It's not funny, it's serious.
No, but it's not funny. At the end of the day, is it? It's serious.
It's a serious issue, because why can't I remember? But yeah, so had my baby, April. She's an April baby. Had her in April. You know how it's funny how these things work. I lost my dad in April of 2010, and I had my daughter in April of 2012. And then I had to go back to school. I was doing my first year in school in Durban, and I had to go back to school. Didn't have anyone. You know how I said in the beginning when my dad died, a lot of people were like, yo, hey, if you need anything, holler at us. None of them were nowhere to be seen. No one wanted to help. People wanted to help, but at the same time, they were not helping. You start to see the true, you know what they say about the father side of the family? Yeah, that kind of happened. And we kind of had to go through a lot of the things on our own. So a lot of other family members reached out from my mom's side of the family. My daughter stayed with my aunt for a while, my mom's older sister for a while, and then it came a point where another family member from my dad's side of the family was like, hey, we can actually help. We didn't know this is what happened, because I kept it from everyone. No one knew I was pregnant. I hid that for a very long time. And no one knew, and then people knew, and then. So once people knew, they were like, okay, cool. Hey, you can bring the baby here. Then I brought the baby. Then things just happened so quickly. And I just, and then I was back to square one. I didn't have anyone to stay with my daughter. And the only other option was to reach out to the boyfriend's or a boyfriend's family to kind of like help me with the child, because I didn't have anyone to, you know, kind of look after my daughter and stuff like that. So they took her. The plan wasn't for her to stay there for so long, because she's been with them since 2010. No, not since 2010. Why am I lying? 2012. She's 10 now. She's turning 11. So she's been there for 10 years. She's been with them for 10 years. The plan initially was never for her to stay with them for that long, but it sort of did kind of happen that way. And she kind of stayed with them for that long. Truly grateful for that. That I was able to find someone who was willing to take her in, even though technically they should have. That's a story for another day. But yeah, so she stayed with them for that long, and I had decided that, you know what, I am old enough and financially stable. And the reason why she couldn't in the previous episode, because financially I was not in a good place to look after myself and to also look after her at the same time without, you know, it affecting me financially, because I was still in school, and school took much longer than I had anticipated, because I had to work at the same time. And you can imagine going through all these things. Like, once my dad passed away, so many like deaths kind of like followed. Lost my grandmother from my mom's side of the family, lost my aunt, my mom's older sister, and then we lost my gran, and then which is my mom's mother, and then we lost our grandfather, which is my dad's dad. And you know, so much death and so much sadness, and you kind of like realize that, oh snap, now you're really alone. Like, you really don't have anyone that you could look after you or help you should you need any help. So that's one of the reasons why she kind of stayed there for a very long time. But then this year I was like, you know what, come hell or high waters, I am taking my baby and she's going to live with me. So yeah, that's how she now has moved to Cape Town and now stays with me. And it's been an interesting journey. Like, motherhood is a very interesting, I'll say it's a very interesting journey, because I haven't experienced it in its full capacity, besides like the first 8-10 months of her life where she stayed with me like consistently. So I'm in a new journey, Mommy Chronicles. Mommy Chronicles. So we are getting to know each other all over again. She's a human being now with a personality of her own, a mind of her own. Currently in grade 6. She's in grade 6 now. So 2 years of primary, and then it's high school. So yeah, we will see how that goes, and I will keep you guys updated if you are interested. But yeah, I'm full-time parent, single mother of 1. Do I want more kids in the future? I really don't know. I always say this in dates. When I speak to someone that when I go on a date and you speak to like a guy, is that I have a child, but I don't know if I want more kids. And if ever the topic of ever wanting more kids were to arise, I think it's also just because that I haven't really fully healed from that experience at a very young age. Having a child at such a young age, having a child is traumatic. Childbirth on its own is a traumatic experience for an adult, let alone a teenager who did not have anyone. I had only my sisters at the time, and I still have just my sisters. So you can imagine the amount of trauma that your body goes through, the amount of trauma that your brain goes through. You kind of now have to switch and become a provider when you're looking for someone to kind of provide for you in a sense of emotionally, financially. So I think it's because I haven't gotten over that trauma, which is why every time the thought and the conversation of babies, I kind of want to be clear on that I don't know. I might not have more kids, depending on who I am with. And if I don't ever end up with anyone, let's say past 35, I don't think I'll have kids. I could never subject myself to having 2 kids and doing it alone. Having one and doing it alone is just hard enough. So I can't imagine having 2 and then doing it alone as well, because you can never trust these Negroes, these heifers, these Negroes. You can never trust them. That's a lot. You see, this is why I need a second therapist, because I have so many other feelings that I still haven't dealt with in terms of like relationships, love, giving, having more children. What happened in that year of 2012, giving birth at such a young age, it really traumatized me, and I don't think I want to go through that again. Even the whole process of giving birth, I don't think I want to go through that again. But I don't know what God has in store for me, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I'm done with the back of being blabbing about. I'm done with the back now. Let me just tie that up. But yeah, so I don't know how I feel about having more kids. We will see. We will see what God has in store for me. Like, I turned 30 this year, and the way my cycle has been ring. I don't use any contraceptives, and that's like a whole other topic. So if you want me to go into detail about that, let me know down in the comments. But I don't use any contraceptives at the moment, just prevention, the Lord's Prayer, and prevention, abstinence, abstinence, the Word of God. That's all I use. Yeah, so my love life has been very siyabamba matoho. I don't know how to say that in English, but besibamba lapho sibizwe khona besifika sibamba, and mekungalungi, you know how temp jobs are, so if it's not always permanent. So I've been in a few very temporal situations. I don't even remember. The longest relationship I've had was 3 years, which was with the father of my child, and then the other ones, the second longest was 8 months, which was with the guy that I had met in Durban. And then we kind of like I moved to Cape Town, and that's how we kind of like ended things, because we knew it was never gonna work. I was a struggling student, honey. Didn't even have funding when I moved to Cape Town. Didn't have a place to stay. Didn't have a res. Like, I was just living, or I moved here in faith, essentially. I wasn't even accepted at the school when I moved to Cape Town. But yeah, that's when I moved to Cape Town. Then I think that was the last really good relationship that I've had with the most kindest, nicest man ever. Not to say I have dated. I think what initially attracts me to someone is their kindness, how kind they are. I love a kind man. I love a considerate person. And kind in a sense that it's just who they are, and not necessarily them being kind to you because they want, cheeks, because some have been just kind just because. And I was like, just say that's what you want. Stop trying to woo me and lie to me, So that's just how relationships have been like for me lately since I've moved to Cape Town. So I'm not in any relationship. I'm not in a talking stage. haven't been in a talking stage in a very long time, because I feel like those are just too draining. And what is a talking stage? Oh, and I did have a lockdown bay. Who didn't have a lockdown bay? When Cyril said, hey, shut down the country, no one is going to work, and we all went to Tinder. And I found a lockdown bay, then restrictions lifted, and then we saw each other for the first time. Like, we would spend hours on a video call, and he was, sweet man. And like I said, I think that was one other relationship. Then he was a very sweet man. We made up after the whole situation happened. And then after lockdowns, restrictions were lifted, and people got back to work, people went back to school and stuff. Things started picking up for everyone, and we kind of drifted apart very quickly, I must add. And someone came to me as a woman, and yeah, that's how it ended. So yeah, man, love, relationships, I don't know how that's going to work out this year, because I'm solely focused on being a mother. I'm a mother now. So we'll see what love has in store for me this year. I really don't have any hopes. I really don't, because in all honesty, these niggas are trifling. I really like the dating pool. Murky. You need pool guy. If you watch TikToks of that guy who cleans pools, that's what the dating pool needs, whether in Cape Town or Johannesburg and all of that. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna meet the love of my life. If I do I even have a love of my life? That is a question that we need to be asking, because this whole, when I meet the love of my life, I can't wait to meet the love of my life, do you even have one? What if the love of your life is your best friend? And I think my best friend is the love of my life, so I'm sorted. I don't need to be meeting no other nigga ever. So yeah, man, we'll see what love has in store for me as we grow older. I'm turning 30 this year, so I feel like I've been 30 for a very long time, so I'm not really phased. It's just the number at the end of the day. So we'll see what 30 has in store for us, and what goodness or badness, or am I meeting a man or am I not meeting a man. I'm really not pressed for love. For a while I was like in a space where I was like, oh my god, nobody wants me. Or I can't keep a relationship. And I was like, you know what, it's not that I can't keep a relationship, it's just that, man, guys, being heterosexual is the ghetto. Like, it's the total ghetto. I don't know why I'm heterosexual, because I literally only have one option for love. And that is men. I'm not phased. Like I said, there are days and there are times where you feel like, oh my god, but not always. I have one less thing to worry about. Being in a relationship, I miss it, but at the same time, what I've noticed with myself is that when I am with someone, I kind of let go of quite a lot of things myself. I changed my day, my life, my schedule. So maybe that's a childhood trauma response. I don't know. And those are just some of the things that I'm not ready to unpack. If I do have someone out there that God has placed, or they'll find me, we'll find each other. However, it could be anywhere, we'll find each other. I'm not really in a process of telling God to hurry up, because I have a lot of things that I want to do for myself and my daughter and my life and my sisters. So there really is no rush. There really isn't any rush. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly detangle this last part, and then I will do the other section off camera, because I am almost done. The time is like 4:20 now. And I don't know if I want to wash my hair today. I'll probably wash my hair tomorrow. So yeah, man, that's it for me. That's it from me. This video has been very long, and if you've made it till this part, if we are chatting right now and you're at this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Okay, let me first finish this and then I'll come back and then we'll wrap this up. All right, so if you made it till this part of the video, I am done detangling my hair. That took me way longer than I had anticipated, and this is why I don't include the detangling step before I detangle my hair in the shower. I always detangle my hair in the shower using water, and that's it. I don't do detanglers, but I love this detangling cream, like absolutely love it. Nautica did a thing with this one. But yeah, so to sum everything up, 2022 was a very crazy year for me. I'm now a full-time mother. I have an 11-year-old that I'm going to be raising on my own. Thank goodness I have my younger sister with me, so that's amazing. I had a very short stint of living on my own. Absolutely enjoyed it. It was amazing. I do, advise everyone to do it for themselves, especially if you're in your mid-20s, late 20s, about to, you need that period where you live on your own, wherever you take it. Absolutely loved it. But now it is time to put my mommy hat on. I'm unlearning so many things. I'm learning a lot of things about myself. I'm kind of realizing a lot of very scary things as well, like when you see glimpses of your mother slip into your parenting. So that's interesting, and I am learning. It's tough. Oh, I don't want to lie, like it's very tough, but we move, we learn, and I hope that it's a good journey for the both of us as we get to know each other, my daughter and I. And I'll keep you guys updated if you ever want to know how that's going. But yeah, man, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching to this part of the video. I really do appreciate it. It's not gonna be I don't want to say I want to be consistent, because I feel like when I say that I put so much pressure on myself. But this is the 1% that I'm contributing to posting more on the YouTube. I'm going to start also moving a lot of my styling videos from Instagram, but do follow me on Instagram and subscribe here. I think it's on your left. Yeah, do subscribe. But yeah, do subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in my next video. Tell your friends to tell your friends that Avory is back in the building. Mwah.